the American citizens that have been helping us after Hurricane Maria. We are grateful to you people for what you have done for us. And I would like to say something about myself. I heard Mr. Carrion said he was born in Puerto Rico and grown there. I was born in Puerto Rico and grew up there, and I think I will live over there until the end of my life. But I have to tell you that I can say today that there are two Puerto Ricos. The one that I saw when I was growing up, a Puerto Rico full of joy and hope, and the one that I have seen after Maria, a Puerto Rico where the sadness and the lack of hope is between us. This is the reason I'm here. I heard one of the senators saying yesterday that when things are not doing well, it's bad if we don't do nothing. But it's worse if we do something the wrong way. And that's what is going on with us in Puerto Rico. With that, with that words, I'm going to tell you what is going on in the island. Because when you talk about a country that wants to rebuild, you have to think about education. You have said all the day. And for us teachers, education is something that is in our hearts, that is in our lives. It was demonstrated during the Hurricane Maria. 2 days after the hurricane, no one could pass through the roads. The bridges were broken, but the teachers knew they had to go to the schools. And what the teachers did was they couldn't go by a car or a bus. They walked to the schools. And how did they get to the schools? Cutting the trees and cleaning the mud and moving everything to go to the schools because our students needed us. After 2 months going to the schools and nothing happened, the teachers asked me, what are we going to do? Schools are not opened. And I met with the Secretary of Education, and she said, we can't open it until FEMA comes and, evaluate them. And we wait for another week. And then I went back to her, and I said, if you're not going to open the schools, we are going to open them. If FEMA doesn't come, our teachers are going to go to the schools, take the schools, clean what is to be done, and we are going to open the schools. Citizens and everyone has the responsibility to do whatever they can do when we have a situation like the ones we have. But right now, after that, we have been trying for the students not to lose those time they were outside the schools. But while the teachers have been struggling with the situation, working with no electricity, with no water in the schools except the filters that the AFT gave us, the government is looking for a quick fix to the transformation and improve of the school, the system. We know that some students are failing. We know that we need transformation of our school system, but it's not something that comes from someone that is behind a desk. If you want to have a transformation of a school system, it should be made in a way that everyone participate in the debate of what we want, what kind of citizen we want to develop, what are the needs of the country, what should be done first, What political issues should be solved? Where are we going as a country? We need to know, to think about that. That's not what is going on in Puerto Rico. There was a bill presented, and when I saw the bill, I couldn't believe what I saw. I couldn't believe. When I asked the legislators, where is the research? From where you are, taking this idea? Where is this research? You are legislating with doing any research. Why are you bringing charter schools to Puerto Rico? I'm not against charter schools because I'm against charter schools. It's because I have been doing research, and we are not prepared for that yet. Puerto Rico can't have any other white fish in education. No. And the bill that has been presented with no limits, with no guarantee that the money is going to the students. Instead, 30% of the money that is going to the students, that the Secretary of Education says that they are investing $6,400 per student, but also she admitted that they are investing only $2,400 per student in some cases. 30% of those 2,000 are going for the company that administered the schools. We are doing that without taking the 30%. How are you bringing that to us? We can't accept that. This is why, one of the reasons. But instead of that, we have some ideas that I'm going to share with you. The bill that has been presented doesn't address the needs of students or demonstrate that they understand the whole child. You know what? The bill says that physical education is going to be taught if the school has money. There is no obligation to teach physical education. There is no obligation to teach music. There is no obligation to teach arts. Do they know the meaning of educating a whole child? There is no obligation to teach technical anything. That's the bill that has been presented. The bill that has been presented also introduces the vouchers you have here. Everyone knows what the vouchers does to public schools. It takes money from public schools to private schools. So we are having a budget that is tight, and now we are having money taken from our budget. The vouchers takes needed funds and resources from neighborhood public schools. It treats schools as a collection of goods and services to be consumed. They don't think, it doesn't say anything about curriculum. It doesn't say anything. Also, before the bill, it was announced that besides the around 200 schools that were closed in the past, they are going to close now 300 more schools. 300 in a small island. 300 schools in places like Jayuya, like Yauco, where you go there and the only thing they have is that school. Like Juan Asensio, a place where the bus was coming to the school and fell down a mountain and 30 kids were killed because it's so difficult to get there. And the only thing the community have is that school. They go there and they celebrate Christmas there. They celebrate Mother's Day. They celebrate Father's Day. That's the only place they have to meet. They are going to close that school because it only has 80 students. And the secretary told me, you can operate a school with 80 students because the budget doesn't let it. It's because they are seeing the school as commerce or something like that. They are not seeing the school as an investment for the future of Puerto Rico. In other words, the bill that I saw eliminates the participation of the community. Totally. The parents are only able to go and look for the grades of their children. Nothing. They don't have participation in the school decisions. The teachers doesn't have participation in the school decisions. That's the bill that was presented. The bill that has also, it doesn't address the future workforce need. It doesn't say, it's small paragraph that talks about technical and vocational education. Small paragraph. And they did it because it is in the law required, the federal law. But if not, nothing we will have about that. But beside that, the bill that was presented, it takes the benefits of the retirement system that the teachers created in 1958. In 1917, and then in 1958, it was restructured. A teacher with 23 years of experience was supposed to go under the past law with $1,500 monthly in retirement benefits. If this law is going to be approved, teachers are going with a pension of $720 monthly. This is the law. When I asked the legislator, how are you going to do that? Why? They said, well, they can have a 401k and live with the $700 and the 401k. What kind of 401k we can have with $1,700 monthly? What kind of... I can't believe that. But beside that, the law doesn't say anything about the law that let us have a union. When I asked the secretary, why are you eliminating the law? We have fought so much hard for that law. She said, well, if we don't eliminate that law, no one will come to the island to run a school. They want teachers with no rights. They want teachers. But beside that, when I said, what are the laws that are going to govern the relationship between management and teachers? And they said, the new law of private sector. The new law that covers private sector only gives 15 days a year for vacations paid for teachers. $1,700 monthly in salary, 15 days only on vacations. No tenure, because when I asked for that, the legislator told me, no, from now on, everyone will have to work here in contracts that will end at the end of the year. And I said, but are they never going to get tenure? And he said, no, the law says it explicitly. There is no hope for tenure, never in their life. But I'm not going to talk only of the teachers. Let's see. About the students, it says the law. The companies that comes and runs the schools can establish additional criteria for the students getting into the school, to enroll the students. You have no control of the criteria they establish. If they say the students they have to pass a test, if it says the student have to do an essay and that student doesn't do that, he won't be enrolled. But that's the law our government is presenting right now. I think, as I said at the beginning, they are going the wrong way. And there is nothing worse than trying to solve a problem through the wrong way. So this is why we have worked and suggested we should have transformation. But the transformation should be based on educational research, based on whole school strategies we know work, and we have learned from different systems. I don't know why they didn't went to the transformation zone in some places in the States. The transformation zones research made by Anthony Bragg says that any transformation should be relies or based on collaborative efforts. There are no collaborative efforts. We didn't participate in the bill. No one participated. A current instructional guidance system. There is no guidance systems. Professional capacity, strong parent-community ties. And you know something? This is one of the most important things a good system should have. We have many parents in the community who are not prepared to work and occupy the jobs that have been offered today, because we didn't have technology in the schools, and they were in our schools, and they were going to learn technology. So schools should offer them training to go and occupy those jobs, but there is no mention of the communities. And then students should be taught to high standards as teachers need proper support team. But listen, there is not respect for the teachers in the island. I have to say this. There is not respect. This is why SM made a research, and they concluded that the teachers feel the government nor the management of the school system respects them. And when you think you are not respected, when you feel you are not respected, there is no motivation to do your best. And this is the first thing that should be changed. And that's not that we are asking for money the country doesn't have now. But respect comes in other ways that doesn't have to be money. Sometimes we get money, but we don't have a place where to meet. Sometimes we get money, but you bring a company that doesn't know what we need as teachers and punish us, having us in a classroom, listening to what they are saying, and sometimes they are saying what they are saying. We know better than them what they are saying. The second pillar, what we think about the new system is every school should address social, health, and emotional needs of the students. The role of the school goes behind this classroom. It goes to the community. And you have to know, we have students who sometimes they don't have, the only meal they have in the day is the lunch we give in the school. We have a community. We had to organize a camp, summer camp, just to get food, just to give those students food during the summer, because the school directors came to my office and said, I'm coming here because I noticed that those kids, when they come back from summer, they are skinny and they look like they have no food during the summer. So we organized the camp, we found the food, and we gave the food and activities to those students. You know something? In our schools, it is prohibited for the students to go and, out of the schools, like I don't know how to say in English. I beg your pardon. My English is from a rural school in the public sector in Puerto Rico, many, many years ago. So,
Education.
but you know, when they go, when students go in trips outside the classroom,
Field trips.
yeah, field trips, it is prohibited, you know? And the teachers, if they want to take those kids outside, they will have to ask months before, just if she gets permits, and if she has to raise money to take the kids outside the schools. And I learned when I was teaching biology in a high school that I couldn't have my students inside that classroom because I was teaching biology. The only thing I had in my classroom was my desk and the chairs of the students. How could I teach biology if you don't have nothing for them to experiment? You know what I did? I was going to be fired because I couldn't be in that classroom. I went around the schools and start teaching ecology. They will learn something at least with this. Okay, I have been, the schools, our plan suggests to create schools that serve as community hubs, stabilizing forces and beacons for other schools. What I think is, if we have 133 schools, we don't have more because they close every year schools that has been demonstrated that are excellent. Last year, they closed 7 schools that were excellent schools in the test. They demonstrated good. Oh my God. Okay. You know something? We suggest, take those 130 schools and take schools around that school and make like zones of transformation. But those zones of transformation are not going to be only for the schools. I'm suggesting to bring like the Department of Labor, those services that the community needs. And we are suggesting just to have extended hours so the parents can come and have training also. If you get the services in the same school the kid is studying, this parent is going to come to the school and you can teach them. We have many social problems. If you do not address the problems with the community, you are doing a poor job. You have to work with the kid, but those kids are with us from 8 to 3 and they go back to their homes from 3 to the other day. What is going on over there? You have to train their parents. Most parents are struggling because they don't find a job. We want, and we would like to have training for those parents. We are also suggesting that the teachers should have a center where they can share their ideas, where they can share their practices, and from that they will learn from each other. Right now, what we are having is we are having companies that goes from here, from the States, and I'm sorry to say this, sometimes they don't know what we need really. So we suggest also that zone of transformation should work with the companies, with employers, to ensure students and adults acquire all the skills, no matter the age they are. And for that, what we are suggesting is that the Puerto Rico Transformation Schools will be student-centered and designated through a process of reflection and engagement. If there is no research and reflection, we can do nothing. Increase the professional capacity of educators. Educators never end learning. We should continue study until the end of our life. Use the schools as the hub to support physical, social, and emotional needs of students. The schools can offer space for various services, as I said, depending on the local needs. Community medical clinics. That's a need for Puerto Rico. We should support mental health. Oh my God, after a hurricane, we need places where people can go and have the service they need. Nutritional service, substance abuse prevention. And I don't talk more because they said I have only 3 minutes, and I think, but I can about experiences I have had. Adult education classes and career and technical education. I suggested, Mr. Carrion, how many employees do you have here? And he said, it's at the banco. He said, about 600 it was. I don't know. 5,000. And I said, we have kids in the schools who doesn't know where are their parents. And if they have the parent at their house, maybe it's there, but it's absent. Why don't we work together and your employees adopt a child, just not to adopt like we adopt a child to be with us, but they can call them when they have their birthday. They can call them when, they have the lessons to do at their home. They can help them. This is the kind of adoption I'm talking to. We can do many things just to improve the education, but we have left the government to do the changes behind a desk. And the government, what does is pays some people that only think on money to do those changes. Those changes are not the root to the reconstruction and rebuild of Puerto Rico. The reconstruction and rebuild of Puerto Rico is based on the people, from the people, and for the people. Just, that's what we think. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aida. Really inspiring.